Yes, everybody, what is going on? It has been an incredibly long time since I did anything on YouTube, but today I am back with a video about a topic which is incredibly near and dear to my heart. It's something extremely important which I believe that there should be so much more dialogue about. This video is kind of a follow-up. It's a follow-up to a video I put up about 3.5 years ago called The Dude with the Broken Stomach. Some of you may have seen that. If you haven't, the purpose of the video, The Dude with the Broken Stomach, was basically, there was two reasons behind it. The first reason was, it was me on the beginning of a fitness journey, me on the beginning of a weightlifting journey. I have been through a lot of shit in the past, which I'm going to get to here. And I wanted to transform my body, get into the gym and, you know, transform my body, my mind, everything. And I thought that if I put up this video, it would put pressure on me to do so over the coming years. And to be fair, it worked incredibly well, helped me put on 2 stone of lean muscle mass, helped me get really freaking strong. So it did its job in that manner. But the second purpose of The Dude with the Broken Stomach was, basically, it was my way at the time of coming out and saying that I was a guy who had suffered with anorexia and bulimia without actually saying it. And what I mean by that is, at the time, I didn't have the courage to say it. I wasn't brave enough. I was still ashamed of it. And it's something that's come up a few times in the past where I've told people about my stomach issues, my food issues, and they've kind of gone, have you had anorexia in the past? And I completely changed the subject. I panicked, the heart starts racing, and I get out of the subject as quick as I can. But that was also the purpose of the video. The Dude with the Broken Stomach was my way of saying that I've been through that. But then last summer, 3 years into the gym, in a very good place, very strong mentally, very strong physically, I decided, fuck it, you know what, it's time to come out and say this. It's time to come out and speak about this issue, because I don't know any guys doing it. There may be a few, but I'm not aware of them. And I wanted to create a dialogue about it and make it non-taboo and put a weight off my shoulders. And also, I believe that if you exercise the demon, if you put it out there, well, then there's nothing to be afraid of. And all you can do is then help people and realize that it is an issue that can be overcome. But anyway, this video is basically in honor of NEDA Week, National Eating Disorder Week, which is this week. And it's why I wanted to come out and speak a little bit about it, speak a little bit about what I've been through. This video is more about what I've been through, more so how I got over it and what I'm still living with to this day. So if you do happen to know somebody out there who's suffering with anorexia, suffering with bulimia, maybe a little bit of what I've been through could kind of help steer them in the right direction, that would be freaking amazing. I'm not in any way claiming that this video is going to help you get over that, but it's what worked for me. So basically, for me, this was at its absolute worst in my late teens, early 20s. For me, the way bulimia came to an end was through one very important revelation that I came to myself, and that was that it could literally be a matter of life and death. Back when I was 17, I was taken out of school. I literally couldn't hold my head up to do my homework anymore. And I went to the doctor, and that's when it all came out. And over the course of a couple of weeks and many hospital visits, basically I was showing all the signs for leukemia because my immune system was that low. There was a week there, many years back, where my parents were waiting to hear back on the results of a test from me, and I didn't think it was any big deal. I thought it was glandular fever. But it turns out that if the results had come back badly, it was going to end fatally. And I was told this one day when the results came back, that thankfully I was going to be okay, that it was, you know, I wasn't going to die. And it kind of hit me in my room one night that it could have gone so much worse. I burst into tears. And it hit me that I was at such a low point, 6 stone 11, purging myself, terrified to eat, that in order for me to live a life, to kind of make some sort of a comeback, I needed to try and take my body back and help myself and overcome what was going on in my head. So basically, I began a process of trying to eat my meals in the evening and then locking myself in my room. I'm not kidding you, for like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. I would draw, I would sketch, I would do something to take my mind off the fact that I had just eaten, and give my body enough time to digest the food so that I couldn't purge it. It sounds crazy, it sounds ridiculous, but that's what needed to be done. And then I would come out and I would know that if I did try and purge myself, I would do horrific damage. That's literally how I began on the road to recovery with bulimia, and thankfully that is something that is years now in the past. For me with anorexia, that's still something that I'm living with to this day, and I personally don't believe that I will ever fully be over that. Now, thankfully the gym helped me tremendously. It got me lifting weights, it gave me a reason to eat food. 6 months into the gym, 6 months into lifting, my brother was training me, I was still eating 2 small frickin' meals a day, which is just absolutely freaking mental. 2 small meals a day when you're training 3-4 days a week, heavy weights, and that's all you're giving your body to sustain itself. But again, I wasn't fully over the fear of food. And that's something that, like, I keep looking back on Shane in that state, and I just want to go back and give that dude a hug and tell him, like, just help him and speak to him and tell him it's all going to be okay. And like, it's freaking scary when you think back those years of what was going on in your head. It's fucking terrifying. But thankfully I realized that if I wanted to really transform my body, if I wanted to put on the muscle mass, if I wanted to have a nice, attractive, full, fit, muscular body, I had to eat. And like, still to this day, portion size fucks with my head. When I hear people speak positively about food, that fucks with my head. When I see people digging into food, eating it super quick, that fucks with my head. Anorexia, although I consider myself recovered, I still think that because anorexia and bulimia are both mental disorders and not physical. If it's physical, you can cut the cancer out, you can cut a tumor out, and please God, you'll be okay. But I don't think, when it comes to mental disorders, I think they stay with you in some capacity. I'm not saying you'll never be recovered if you have a mental disorder, but I'm saying for me anyway, for me personally, it's still fractionally in there. Because I have challenges every single day. One thing I do on a daily basis which helps me eat is I put food onto my plate and I take a small bit off it and I put it to the side, and therefore I have a more manageable portion. And then when I finish that, if I realize I can eat the extra bit, great. But taking a bit off my plate seems a more manageable thing to do. That's mental to some people, but it works for me. And it's I mean, it's something you can only laugh about in hindsight, but yeah, that's what I do to this day. But one thing I wanted to speak about as far as bulimia goes is, to this day, my digestive system is irreparably damaged, and that's something that I don't know will ever change. I can't eat, drink properly. Drinking causes me to constantly, there's tension, I have to burp myself. Eating takes an hour. Drinking out in public is a nightmare because my stomach will tense up and it'll just be a big ball of tension. It's horrible. Bulimia has caused irreparable damage. I have joked about this in the past, and please don't anybody take this the wrong way, but for me, I believe anyway, someone's going to take this the wrong way, anorexia is maintainable. At least I found it maintainable. That's why it lasted long for me. But bulimia will fuck you up. Like, anorexia, you're denying yourself food. You're starving yourself. And I managed to do that for 10 years. That sounds like I accomplished it. I didn't. You know what I'm saying here. You know, please don't twist my words. That's how long I was. That's how long I was stuck with the disease. But bulimia, 2 years of it, 2 years of stomach acid coming up my esophagus, has given me 15 centimeters of Barrett's esophagus, which can turn into esophageal cancer, which people don't come back from. My stomach, the lining is gone. I never feel hunger. The valve at the top of my stomach is constantly open, so when I lie down, backflow. Bulimia will mess you up, and it has done to me. And it's something that I have to live with, but I'm grateful for getting over it. I'm grateful that I'm still here. I'm grateful that I'm able to go to the gym and train and get strong and hopefully compete in my first powerlifting meet later this year. I'm grateful that I'm still here to tell my story, to be able to make videos to hopefully help somebody out there who might be going through this. I'm super grateful for all of that. I'm grateful that I was strong enough to realize it was force food into yourself, or things could end very badly. I'm grateful for all of that. But bulimia has permanently damaged me. Anorexia is still the mental effects. I'm obviously in a much better place. Much better place. But I'm just telling you that if you do happen to be in the middle of it, or you do happen to know somebody going through it, it brings up a lot of memories doing this. But there is a way out. But the reason I want to tell you about these things is because the sooner you catch it, the better. The sooner you kickstart your road to recovery, the better. Because it's something that you don't want to have to live with. And you want to get yourself recovered and cured ASAP. Guys, I'm going to wrap this video up here because I don't want to ramble too much. I sincerely hope anyone out there suffering, or anyone out there who knows someone who's suffering, can take something from this and realize that although it is a horrific thing to deal with, anorexia and bulimia, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm proof of it. If you know somebody who's suffering with it, please be sympathetic, be compassionate, show love, show understanding, and whatever you do, do not try and force them to eat a sandwich or eat a steak or anything like that, because you have no idea what's going on in their head unless you have been through it yourself. I kind of planned on this being a one-off, but I'm also planning on, I want to see if CBD has any positive effects on what I'm going through, so I'm planning on picking up some of that in the next week or two. If that has any positive effects, I will potentially make another video, maybe, but obviously this is a lot to get out in one video, and it's a big message to communicate, and I want to communicate that there is light, that recovery is possible, and that you can fight anything that you put your mind to it. But I'm also conscious of the fact that, you know, I don't want to ramble too much, and there's probably things that I am going to forget to go over. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any comments, please fire them below. My Instagram is @ShaneJKennedy. I'll stick it up on the screen. If there's anything you would want to make me, if there's anything you would like me to make a further video about, I'm absolutely open to it. If there's anything that can help anybody, wonderful. I'm completely open to making more. But as I said, I'm probably going to press cut here now and remember 2 or 3 different things I wanted to talk about. But hopefully somebody out there has garnered some sort of light, some sort of inspiration, realized that the road to recovery is possible, and that bulimia and anorexia are 2 mental disorders that you can kick their frickin' ass. So on that, guys, I will leave it there. Thank you so much. Be mindful. Be compassionate and show love to anyone that might be going through this. And until next time, guys, thank you so much.